Welcome to the Rock Shop. My name is Will. The Rock Shop is where I store and display my collection. I'll show you around. Alright, this is where some of my fossils are at. I'll give you a quick rundown of what's inside the Rock Shop. Pretty much every piece of wall space I have a shelf filled with something. Or the bench tops are filled with something as well. I have a lot of agate that I found along the Yellowstone. This is the big agate table. I'll come back and show that in a moment. But everywhere in here is filled with some kind of something that you can find near the Yellowstone generally, or a nearby location. Nearby being within a few hundred miles. A lot of petrified wood, some more concretions up there. Have some jasper, petrified wood here as well. Some more petrified wood. A few more pieces of petrified wood, a few cut pieces. I'll show you those in a moment. These are called Gizzard stones. I'll tell you about those here in a moment as well. More agate. All of the agate in here and the petrified wood will be getting polished. I have a large polisher that I've built specifically to polish up a lot of the agate petrified wood as quickly as possible. I'll show you that here in a moment. Some of the calcite crystals that I've found over the years in the limestone concretions are bleeding out of the shale banks adjacent to the Yellowstone and nearby too. The shale beds are really all over the place out here. But these are near the Yellowstone and pretty accessible if you're looking for those. Alright, so here are a lot of the baculites that I found. Some of the baculites can be pretty healthy in size and pretty well preserved or not so well preserved, depending on the specimen. So these are very well preserved. The shell is compressed and it's flaky and it's very, very brittle. Where you find one, you will find more, generally. Here are some of my favorite ones. I found this in the center of a rock bank. I wish that I would have found a more complete piece of it, but I'll take it. My dad was the one that showed me that inside the gray pieces of limestone down the rock banks along the Yellowstone, you might find fossils or crystals. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're not. Here's a piece of a much larger one. I wish I would have found the whole thing. It would have been quite a task to carry it back, but it would have been massive. Still looking. One day. That is a piece of a very big ammonite. Nice suture pattern as well. And some of these are very, very well preserved. The pockets can be hollow and filled with calcite crystals. I need to clean these very carefully. Very sparkly. It's a nice ammonite. And this one is solid crystal. A little bit of the shell on the outside still, but very nice. And here is a very small concretion. I brought this back just because it was so small and was complete. Maybe one day I'll cut into it. You never know, there might be something inside of it. Here are some bigger concretions. A bunch of baculites squished into this one and into this one. Both these need to be cleaned. A bunch of the fossilized squids from up in the Priors. They're plentiful up there. If you hunt around, you'll find they're all over the place in varying amounts. And here's a concretion with many smaller items in there. Very nice though. A couple ammonites, and a clamshell. That's a real concretion. And here is a much larger clamshell. I'll work it out of the rest of it, out of the rock. Part of it's in, part of it's out. This will be a very, very healthy clamshell. It's one half the clam on both sides. So we'll see. Coming up soon. I figure it's about 12 to 14 inches across. Found these up around Winnet 30 years ago, longer. These came out of the concretions up in that area. They're different. They're interesting. There's a couple more from that area. They fluoresce slightly. There's another section. The concretions up there have slightly different crystals and different fossils too. And just a lot of different crystals. Crystal clusters. A lot of stuff to be found. These can be cleaned a little better. I'll do a video on those soon. These have grown dusty over the decades. Good basic cleaning would do these some justice. Some of the fossils or some of the crystals, both you find along Yellowstone, to be pretty nice. Some of them, not so much the case. Some, though, pretty cool. These larger ones up on top came from the Winnet area as well. I'll clean these up and put some cuts on the faces. I think they'll be pretty cool. Okay, the agate collection is pretty healthy. Stretches back into the 1970s and 80s. After 1987, I have everything that I found in this collection. Prior to that, not much of it. A few pieces, though. This is the big agate table. The biggest agate is 24.3. I have this on video. This was the previous record agate. I found this in 1997. Did not have it on video. And this is 20.55. Number 3, 16.87. Have it on video. Number 4, 16.23. Have this on video as well. This is number 5. And I found this in 2004. This is, I think, 14.46. I need a 12.7 something. Have this on video as well. You put a flashlight to it, it's very clear. It doesn't look like it. Put the flashlight on, it lights up like a light bulb. Upper 12s, 12 and a half, 10 and a quarter. Very dark agate. Found it right up on top. Pretty wild. Everything around was small, and that was right up on top and very clean and ready to go. Another 10-pound agate. Something upper 7s. It's a nice one. All of these are going into the rock polisher, and these are all going to be polished in one piece. There's a nice one. That will be very nice polished up in one piece. There's a lot of face there. The face is older. It has this orange kind of caramel brown varnish on it. A lot of the big agates have this. This one has it as well, a little bit over in here. The newer face will be clearer, cleaner. This one's an 11-pound range. It has very, very definite banding in it that you can see. Polished up in one piece, this will be extremely nice. 11 and a quarter pounds of agate. Another nice banded agate here. This thing is 10.68 pounds. But with the polish on this will be pretty sweet. We'll see. Not a lot of low spots. Here's an upper 10-pound waterline. Here's a 12-pound chunk. Got a nice face in it, and that very wore down. And there's another one. It's a 12-pounder, sometime in the early 2000s. Another one from the early 2000s. .93. Here is a large opaque orange waterline agate. This thing is, what's it saying? 11.62. Found this in 2004. This will be interesting to polish. Found this in 2022. Got it on video. It's going to get polished and probably cut. We'll see. Nice pattern. That'll be much nicer polished. And this one, have it on video as well. 9.48. It's a big piece of agate. And a lot of pieces in the 7-pound range. Here's a very dark agate. That'll be nice polished. All right. Got a set of videos coming displaying each of my 100 largest agates, both dry and wet, and then with a flashlight. Lots of smaller agates up here on the wall. Everything on this table is in the 24 to 7-pound range. A few 6s up there on this far side. Down here is the 5 and 6-pounders, moving into the 4 range. I do have agates that would fit up here, but they're in boxes or buckets in one of my cabinets. You're in the smaller 2 and 3 pound range up in here. All of these will be pulled out of the shelves and polished with the big agates. These are called gizzard stones by the locals, and they are found in a clay layer that's on top of the sandstone of the Eagle Sandstone Formation that surrounds Billings. And the idea is that dinosaurs would pick these up, swallow them, in the same way that a chicken swallows pieces of sand and small pebbles, help them digest their food. And the gastric juices would kind of discolor the exterior, while the interior is this lighter color. Whether that's the case or not, who knows, but that's what a lot of folks around here believe. And some of the Rock County books are called gastroliths. But this is what they look like. They tend to be darker, flatter, kind of like a skipping stone, smoothish, and then much lighter on the inside when you break open and look inside. They don't have that, they have a much lighter kind of chert looking structure. Here is the petrified wood, some of it. All the agatized pieces will be getting polished first with the other pieces of agate. Here are a couple exceptions. This piece was found in Arizona around quartzite in 1992. And for anybody in that area, you'll recognize this type of petrified wood. I saw it in the rock shops down there, but it's very well preserved. The grain is extremely well preserved. It has that kind of high-pitched sound when you touched anything, but it is a cool type of petrified wood. Really, really well preserved. There's another piece of it that I found when I was down there. Same day, actually. Same area. This thing is really well preserved also. A lot of character and knots, and I'll show a more complete video of it later. Here's a section of a log that was found in Terry, Montana, back in the early 2000s. It's that kind of root beer brown agate with kind of an orangish jasper bark. A couple pieces from North Dakota of the Badlands. Piece. More petrified wood. Some green stones back there. Look at those later. And a little more petrified wood. Smaller pieces of petrified wood. Back in the late 90s, early 2000s, I cut stones for a little while. Not too long, but a little bit. This, however, was bought for me from the airport here in town, Logan Airport, out of a gift shop, probably 1975 or 6. I still have it. This is the oldest rock in my collection. I think it was $3 or $4 if I remember. My mom bought me this too. Look at it later. There's a piece of some banded chert. My mom made this. My mom bought me that as well. And here's one of the agates that I cut. Banded agate. I have a drawer full of these cut agates in slices. Do a video on those later. Show this run. These need a good polish. And here's a few more of the gizzard stones and more agates. needs a polish. All of this is going to go into the polisher. Nice banded piece. Some bigger chunks of petrified wood. More reef. A few big healthy seashells. A few selenite crystals. Other priors as well. And these are kind of the micro mounts of the calcite crystals. Minus this section, which is a few more pieces of the selenite crystals. A little bigger. A lot of nice micro mount material over in here. I'll do a few videos on what I have in the collection here very soon. Alright, all the agates that you saw and the agates that you will see will go into this polisher. Alright, I built this. It is a large vibratory polisher. This tub is 6 feet long, 3 feet deep, and about 1.5 feet tall. It's bolted to the shop floor in 4 locations so it doesn't move around when it's vibrating. And it is supported by, let's see here, 4 Suburban springs. There's 2 of them. So this just sits on the 4 springs and it moves. Got an ammo container and a stump over there supporting it, or in case anything happens when I'm down there working. I've been down there working, so. Okay, here's what this looks like from this side. The tub is around 700 pounds empty. Okay, there are 4 compartments inside the tub. Each compartment is 40 gallons approximately. It has a dimension, each one, of 3 feet long, 1.5 feet wide, and 1.5 feet tall. And so I can run any 1, 2, 3, or 4 of these at a time. Underneath this shroud or shield is a 3 horsepower 220 motor. It is just a standard air compressor motor. Has an RPM range of 3,450 RPMs, and I want to use just a standard grade motor that anybody could get a hold of. So 3 horsepower, 220, 3,450 RPMs puts a pretty good shake on what's inside this. I'm going to make a modification to how this vibrates, and I'll be doing that very soon. I'll be putting a video out of that as well here shortly. And oh yes, in the rock shop I have many buckets and boxes full of rocks that I found that still need to be cleaned and kind of inspected. I don't really take a good look at what I find when I find it, unless it's pretty spectacular, and then I just save it for a later video where I'll pull these boxes and buckets out and clean them. And here's some of the grit that I have for the polisher. I have many boxes that are 25 and 50 pounds. There's the 1200 grit silicon carbide. I have boxes of 500 to 600, and let's see, 220 to 120, and then boxes of 60 to 90 as well. 200 pounds of each of those grades. And we'll see how far it gets me into my collection for polishing it. And let's see here. What else? I think that is about it. Some of my cabinets are they're just full of buckets. 2 deep, 2 tall, 4 deep. Same thing. Each of these doors are just full of buckets of rocks. I've got to break them out and clean them. Over in here, the same thing. Many boxes and buckets full of rocks that need to be cleaned and inspected. I'll make a video of each one. And as I begin to polish the collection inside the rock polisher here, I'll make a video of those as well. Alrighty. That is a portion of what is in my collection. I'll be sharing the rest of what's in my collection with you as soon as I can. In my cabinets, I have many boxes and buckets of rocks that I need to still break out and clean and put away into a bin. And I'll make videos of those and show those to you as well. And all the agates that you've seen and all the petrified wood and much more, I'll be putting into the polisher and polishing it, making videos of those also. And I have a lot of footage of going down the river and collecting rocks, and I'll get that out as much as possible. And if you want to watch that, here it is. All my videos will be organized into playlists that you can access from my homepage. All right, thank you for joining me, and have a good night.